At Tomorrowland, the music stopped for 2 Israeli soldiers, detained, not for disruption, but for alleged war crimes in Gaza. Waving the Givati Brigade flag, they triggered Belgium's first ever arrest under universal jurisdiction. Party turned into a legal flashpoint, and Europe took notice. This is the moment international law crashed the dance floor. Two Israeli soldiers were detained and questioned by Belgian authorities after attending the Tomorrowland music festival in Boom, according to a statement from the Belgian Federal Prosecutor's Office. The arrests followed legal complaints filed by the Brussels-based Hind Rajab Foundation and the Global Legal Action Network, 2 organisations focused on pursuing accountability for alleged war crimes in Gaza. The individuals, who were reportedly waving the flag of the IDF's Givati Brigade during the festival, were identified by Belgian police and subjected to formal questioning. They were later released without charge. The investigation remains ongoing. According to the HRF, the Givati Brigade has been directly linked to widespread destruction in Gaza and what the group describes as mass atrocities against civilians. The group claimed that the soldiers' visible identification with the brigade may have triggered the formal legal action.
2 involved in the systematic destruction of civilian infrastructure in Gaza and in carrying out mass atrocities against the Palestinian population. For the first time in Europe, Israeli suspects linked to crimes in Gaza have been subjected to formal arrest and questioning. This development is a significant step forward. It signals that Belgium has recognized its jurisdiction under international law and is treating the allegation with the seriousness they deserve.
Legal complaints filed on July 19th and 20 prompted Belgium's Federal Prosecutor's Office to invoke Article 14/10 of the preliminary title of the Code of Criminal Procedure, a law enacted in April 2024. This provision allows Belgian courts to exercise jurisdiction over crimes committed abroad that fall under international humanitarian law, including those outlined in the Geneva Conventions and the Convention Against Torture. Acting under this authority, Belgian law enforcement located and briefly detained 2 Israeli soldiers attending the Tomorrowland Music Festival. The soldiers were interrogated in connection with the complaints, though the prosecutor's office declined to provide further details. The Israeli Foreign Ministry confirmed the arrest and stated it is in contact with the individuals. The Israel Defense Forces were also notified and are working with consular officials. According to the Hind Rajab Foundation, HRF, which submitted the complaints, this marks the first time Israeli soldiers have been arrested and questioned in Europe under universal jurisdiction. HRF founder Diab Abu Jahjar called the move a significant step in pursuing accountability for alleged war crimes in Gaza. The organisation claims to have compiled over 8,000 pieces of evidence since Israel's military campaign began in October 2023. Belgium's response may signal a new legal approach in Europe. The arrest of the 2 Israeli soldiers coincided with growing momentum among international human rights organisations to enforce universal jurisdiction for alleged war crimes. In a joint statement, the Hind Rajab Foundation and GLAN welcomed the legal development, saying it demonstrated Belgium's willingness to apply international law to cases involving Gaza. The 2 groups emphasised that credible allegations of violations must be addressed through formal legal processes rather than ignored for political convenience. The statement also framed Belgium's action as a potential precedent for other states that are party to the Geneva Conventions and the Convention Against Torture. Belgian media reported that the arrests took place with what was described as a clear show of force at the Tomorrowland Festival, a large electronic music event attended by thousands, including many young Israelis. According to the HRF, while the general atmosphere at the festival was peaceful and included interactions between Israelis, Palestinians and Iranians, the waving of brigade-specific flags may have crossed a line that drew legal attention. The HRF's central office in Brussels gave the organisation a geographic advantage in pursuing legal proceedings swiftly. By being able to file complaints directly within the Belgian legal system, the group moved quickly to activate the provisions of Article 14/10. The arrests came just a day after King Philippe of Belgium referred to the situation in Gaza as a disgrace to humanity. In a public address, the monarch echoed calls from the United Nations for an immediate end to hostilities, citing the humanitarian toll of the conflict. According to health officials in Gaza, over 59,000 Palestinians have been killed since October 2023, with women and children comprising the majority of casualties. The territory's health system has collapsed under the pressure of continued airstrikes, and famine conditions have emerged in many parts of the enclave. International pressure on Israel has intensified in recent months. In November, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant, citing war crimes and crimes against humanity. Separately, the International Court of Justice is reviewing a genocide case filed against Israel related to its actions in Gaza. Despite increasing scrutiny and legal challenges, the Israeli government has rejected all allegations of wrongdoing and continues its military operations, citing the need to eliminate Hamas and secure its borders. As for the legal case in Belgium, the Federal Prosecutor's Office has made clear that the investigation is still in the early stages. The arrest and release of the two soldiers mark only the beginning of what could become a complex and high-profile legal process involving international law, military accountability, and geopolitical tension.